Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is episode 2 of the North Sports Podcast with me, Mr. Andrew Faubert, here to talk to you about sports here in Canada, where you, the Canadians, get an opinion to say whatever the fuck you want, the way that you're supposed to fucking say it. As loud as possible. Except I'm not going to be necessarily as loud as possible, because my daughter is just above me playing, and when she hears me, she's gonna scream, and she's gonna scream, and she's gonna be like, so I'm not gonna scream, but I might get a little bit loud here and there, ladies and gentlemen, and you might hear her playing from time to time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is February 29th, it is leap year, it is 2020, and we had this start of the combines. Let me get this headphone set up here. And that is the first thing that we are going to basically talk about. But to let you know what we are talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, we have got NFL Combine Talk, which is going to be the more of the headline, okay? We're going to have my first ever theory. Get ready for that one. It is NFL based. We got NHL Talk. We go over the standings in the playoffs. Same with NBA. And we're also going to talk a little Zion. And then a little bit of MLB to wrap it all up. And we're also going to be opening... Dun, 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 dun. We got ourselves an upper deck. It's a classic one, too. And you know how the rules go, ladies and gentlemen, with this. We open one pack dedicated to the fucking podcast. That podcast, ladies and gentlemen, grand prize, after all is said and done, we'll get into a grand commingle of cards. We'll have a value for those cards. And after a few podcasts and after a few shares and stuff like that, people will get the cards. Whoever gets the cards, whoever gets the most names in the fucking drawing, I'll draw one out. That's how it goes. That's how I did it on my old podcast. And let's see if I can turn this without screwing anything up. Dun, 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 dun. There's your first card. It's actually worth $2.08 from what I've found. Yeah. $2.08. So it's not too bad. We'll open that up in a little bit here. But don't want to waste everybody's time. I got a time limit I try to hit on these things. So let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. You can also follow me on Twitter at Andrew_Faubert, or you look for Foobs. Okay, it's a picture of me and my little brother. And he's dressed up in his little football gear and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that's all I need to do before we get into this. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Tell you football fans out there who don't follow the combine, this is why you turn to me. Anybody who knows me, anybody who knows I talk my sports, knows you can come to me because I'm Latin American. But definitely not. I don't shoot things up. Bad joke. What I do is I look at the combine, take a look at the players. You saw my pre-mock draft with trades and without trades. That is definitely going to get updated once this whole combine is done. Right after the combine is done. And then there'll be the free agency one. So I'll have a couple of mock drafts updated, obviously throughout the year. So get ready for those. But some of these combine news that you guys need to hear about is, first of all, this is a wide receiver and offensive line and a bit of a late round running back type of draft for sure. And there is a lot of talent, ladies and gentlemen. What we thought was going to be some of the first O-linemen going off the board may now be the fourth O-lineman going off the board. The fourth O-lineman looks like he's now going to be first off the board. And that's Justin Wirfs from Iowa, ladies and gentlemen. 6'5", 320 pounds of fucking muscle. This guy ran a 4.85 40-yard dash. You're not going to want to be on the defensive side trying to get through that block. That is just going to hurt. This guy is an animal. His combine is probably the best combine for an O-lineman in, not to say quite a while, but just like in general across the board. Like he's number 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. Like it's all top stuff. He is a top prospect O-lineman for sure. For sure. When I say he's from Iowa, he's got a couple other teammates that he's going to go with in the first round. When you got Epinesa that you're basically practicing with in college, you're definitely you're gonna be trained up to be pretty damn good, if you ask me. His 485 is also being overshadowed, but the other guy went first, so it's weird. Wirfs went second after this guy and kind of stole the news after this huge guy. Where is it? I got him in my notes here. Don't you worry. Oh, maybe I don't. I wanted to talk about him too. Was the Alabama O lineman, I do believe. You know what? I'm gonna find him here. While I talk about the other guys, I guess. Ruggs was a wide receiver, and he actually was looking fantastic as well. He's fucking. Everybody's looking at Judy and Lamb, and I even outlooked this guy. I did not think, being second behind a number one prospect for sure has made you a good number two prospect at all. I don't know. It's going to be interesting how many Alabama players actually come out and they weren't even in the top four, but that's just because Tua went injured, and we all know that. Let me find this guy here. I want to find this guy. Where's this more? How do I get more? Oh, I'm going to find him. I can't believe I can't find him. Tristan Wirfs, yeah, with the 4.85. And then someone got a 5.10 at like fucking 365 pounds. Absolutely amazing. 5.10, 40-yard dash at 365 yards. Those two O linemen are definitely going to be number one and number two. Oh, it's Becton. That's who it was. Becton from Louisville. That guy is a monster. So a lot of teams who are already looking to get O linemen in the first round, this definitely just made all their decisions way harder. They don't know what the hell they're going to do. If you're the Giants and you wanted to get Okaday or even Simmons, your O line is going to need help. And you're looking at all those juicy O linemen that are available, and you could trade down and still get one. That's the advantage for Detroit and stuff like that. But Detroit will be in my theory here in a second. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, the running back, was the other person I wanted to talk about quick. He ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. He's got smooth transitions. He's going to probably move his draft stock into the first round. He's one of the guys that I've talked about, and I thought he was going to do quite well. I'm hoping he actually falls to the Bucs at 45 in the second round. I highly doubt that now, which sucks. A lot of the quarterbacks went yesterday. Some of the other defensive prospects and the rest of the other prospects are starting to go today. Bench presses and stuff like that. I mean, nothing really overly crazy except for the O-linemen that were going on. But yeah, it's everybody's just going for the wide receivers and running backs. Everybody's trying to break that 40-yard dash record, and everybody's just getting injured. It's usually how it is. Welcome to the combine. So, getting into my theory here, though. I put up my mock draft, which I'm actually going to pull up here quick, too. My mock draft with the trades, I had the Lions trading back, as well as the Redskins. But now, a lot of reports, especially after people got to talk to Ron Rivera at the Combine, he doesn't even seem like necessarily sold on, Dwayne Haskins. He talked about him being at the not the compound. It sounds like he's a prison inmate. It sounded like he was at the arena, at the training facilities, where he was supposed to be. But I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. To me, I had Miami trading up to 2 in order to grab Tua, because Tua is in my opinion, best prospect in this draft for quarterbacks. The best prospect in this draft in general, though, is Chase Young. Then you would probably put Brown from Auburn, the defensive tackle. Then it starts to get kajumbled, but what isn't kajumbled in there is Okaday and Simmons and Judy being top prospects as well. And Burrow, obviously, still looking to go number 1. I don't think that's going to change. I don't think anything has changed it, except for the fact that Washington now may be taking Tua. Now, here's the theory on that, and we're going to call it the cardinal rule. And what I mean by that, I'm going to need that quick little refresher for this one. Last year's draft, Cardinals get the first overall pick. You get a new head coach. Cliff Kingsbury is in there. Your new ownership. Sorry, not your new ownership. Your new, basically, administration. Your general manager, Steve Keim. Chairman and president, Michael Bidwell. All those guys sat there. Were like, do we just sit with Rosen? And you could have. And you could have had Bosa. And you could have had a really good defense. And a meh offense, which would have probably put you at the same of where you're at right now, with not that much more progression coming out of Rosen, because Rosen couldn't play in that offense. So what do? They took a chance, they rolled the dice with that first overall pick, and they went with Kyler Murray, changing up that whole offense. And it kind of worked. It got people to watch the games. It got them interest again. The people want to go play for the Cardinals again, seeing Kyler Murray and what he can do. Okay? Washington is kind of in the same boat. Now, Ron Rivera, when he was hired on by the Carolina Panthers, and I got all that stats here, bye. He got hired on January 25th, I think it was. Sorry, January 11th, 2011. Got hired on by the Panthers, and then Cam Newton in 28th of April was drafted by the Panthers. So Ron Rivera comes in, gets a couple of months into ownership's ear, and says, guess what? You have, X quarterback here, and he's good. He's been here for, a couple of years, but we can go younger and we can go better with the first overall pick. Now he has the second overall pick, but it's the same type of situation. Cam Newton is not Tua. I think Tua is more, like a lot of people are saying, Drew Brees. I think it's more Drew Brees with Russell Wilson's legs. I think his escapability is underestimated right now, only because of what Kyler Murray can do. That being said, Washington could very easily take Tua, knowing the Bengals are more than likely going to take Burrow, unless the Bengals decide to be like, we take Tua, which is not going to make sense. Their offense is not built for that. That is not the right head coach. That would just be stupid. I think Tua would even say no. I'm pretty sure that's why they're going to take Burrow, is because Burrow's a safer pick for them. Tua, on the other hand, Washington with Rivera could easily sit there and say, we take Tua. And by them taking Tua, really screws up this whole draft. Now you got Miami being, we lost our quarterback. We lost everything that we have worked for, everything that we traded for. And they know that they're not going to get Cincinnati's first overall pick. They know that Cincinnati's not going to drop back to 5 and then, tell their fan base, we got 3 first-round picks to choose from. They know that's not going to happen, and they're not even going to attempt that. So Washington could really screw all this up. We know that Chase Young is a once-in-a-lifetime talent as well. We do know that. But like I've even said before, the reason why in my mock draft I have Miami trading up to get it and Washington trading back to 5 is because they have a pretty damn good D lineman, if you ask me. A pretty damn good D. And all they really need now is a couple more players here and there. So how could they make this work? You can take Tua. You can trade Haskins. There is a market out there for a lot of quarterbacks. Yes, we know that. But you start throwing Dwayne Haskins into the mix when, Derek Carr and possibly Stafford's name can be thrown around as trade bait. Dwayne Haskins is a lot younger. Dwayne Haskins is a lot cheaper. And Dwayne Haskins has a lot more development if you put him in the right system. What type of systems do I have? New England, Las Vegas, Miami, even Tennessee. Those would be great places. I think Miami would, like to take Dwayne Haskins at that point and beat you every time and hope that they go to the Super Bowl with them. You never know. I do think that it is a possibility. You start a trend as well. It's called the Cardinal move. People would start rethinking if you got for example, of the Bengals. The Bengals take Burrow number 1 overall. And he's not working out. You go 2-14, even 1-15, or if you decide to add the 1 extra game, 1-16, which would really suck for the Bengals. And you're sitting there at number 1 next year. And you have the opportunity of Trevor Lawrence or Fields. Do you really think the Bengals would pass that up? I didn't think so. Do you think this Cardinal move would definitely start trending if Ron Rivera pulls the trigger now? Because if he pulls the trigger now and he gets away with it and it works, every other team that has that first overall pick is going to start debating it. The other things that they could do, you could trade Haskins, you could get, say, either pieces, players, or picks. Same thing if you traded Williams. He obviously wants way too much money. I don't think Rivera is going to give that to him, especially if they could trade him up to get, a 22nd, 23rd, 24th overall pick and move on from the contract that he's going to, want. And if there is one of those offensive linemen available, if the big four are taken, the guy out of Houston might still be available, and you pull the trigger on that because it's just it's a less of a pay cut. It's a way less of a pay cut to take. So Washington is in a pretty good place. That's my theory on that. Watch out for Washington to make that big move to take Tua at number 2. Detroit then is sitting there pretty. You got everybody who's obviously going to start calling you for the major trade. Like, oh no, we want Herbert. Oh, we want Herbert. Oh, we got to do everything to go get Herbert. But if you're sitting there at number 3, you can either A, take all those picks that everybody's willing to give you for Herbert, which I think teams obviously like the Chargers, the Panthers, Jacksonville, even possibly my Buccaneers. I'm hearing weird shit about my Buccaneers, so we can see about that. Indianapolis, Vegas as well, especially if they start to go into it. A lot of people have asked me about, say, like some of the picks were like 15 down to 20 with Jacksonville, Denver, and Atlanta if they wanted to start changing quarterbacks. Unless a Love was available, I think Atlanta would possibly pull the trigger on that. I think Jacksonville would possibly pull the trigger on that. Vegas might pull the trigger on that. I do not see Denver doing that on Love. I think they want to go with Locke for at least a year, and if it doesn't work, then they're going to get the first or second overall pick next year, or hopefully be up there. So they have that going for them. Yeah, this Cardinal move, this trend, I think is quite a high possibility. Look for that, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see. That's my first theory, and we'll call it the Ron Rivera making the Cardinal move. That is what it's going to be called. Thank you for that. Round of applause. Thank you. Now getting in, ladies and gentlemen, to the NHL. Because obviously we live in Canada. Some people don't give a shit about football. I'm sorry that I care a little bit too much. I don't get into early mock drafts with the NHL just yet. Ooh, that looked a little weird. Sorry about that. Because it's way too early for that. Way too many prospects. You've seen them all up there. I don't mean for the NHL draft happening this year. I mean for next year. The list for the people right now, it's this is getting Lafreniere. If we don't get Lafreniere, fucking joke. There's a reason I buy cards. If Lafreniere goes to Detroit, you can almost guarantee you that I'll be dropping a couple $100 to get a few tins of those fucking cards in hopes that I get a Lafreniere rookie card. That is for damn sure. Speaking of which, actually, the reason why this was a couple minutes late is I was actually talking to a guy in hopes of purchasing a Jacques Morant Prism Red card. It's little pricing. I hope I'm knocking down a couple prices, possibly trading one of my Zions, see what the guy says. But yeah, if I get that, that'd be a nice addition to the podcast. Yeah. Going into the standings here, in the East, Washington is still ahead of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is going to make a run for that number 1 spot. Boston is first in the Atlantic with Tampa and Toronto right behind. You Leaf fans, I know you hate me, but it's the race for the wild card in the East between the Islanders, who are in, and Columbus, who are in, with 78 and 76 respectively. Carolina is just out. Rangers are just out. Florida, those are the 3 teams that are chasing. Montreal is basically out. Sorry to a good friend of mine, Jerry. Montreal Canadiens, LA Chitan. That's even how you say it in French. Carolina, I think, is going to get in. I don't think the Islanders and Columbus are going to keep those spots. I really don't. My bet that I make on this podcast, and I've made to a few people at work, is that the Rangers are getting in. That team is built. Kreider is out, and everyone's probably going to say, "Oh, the injury," and stuff like that. Now, I'm not even going to use that as not an example. See, I can't catch my words when I'm on it live. It's bullshit. It's not going to affect them that hard. Okay. He's out for like 6 to 8 weeks, I think it is. Might be longer. I'll have to double check that. But the Rangers are a real deal. I think Lundqvist has got one more postseason run in him. So watch for the Rangers. That's where I'm laying it down right now. They're plus 16 in goals. So Rangers get in. That's my bet right there. The trades, we obviously lost a couple of people. Mike Green and Anthony Sayu going to the Oilers, where I get to see them possibly next Saturday. Depending on the birth of my child, I'll be taking my little brother after my parents have won tickets after a raffle. They get to go see the Oilers take on the Blue Jackets at home. So I'll be taking my brother to see that. It's a playoff matchup, not necessarily for them, but a playoff matchup in order for points. Columbus is going to need those points, and same with the Oilers, because if we go to the West, we'll go to the Central first. St. Louis is in first with 86, Colorado 83, Dallas is sitting there in third with 80. Go to the Pacific, where it's a lot more fun. You got Vegas, you got Vancouver, you got Edmonton sitting there in third. Wouldn't have the home advantage, which is what they want. Calgary sitting in that one first wild card spot, and Nashville currently snuck in there as the last one, with Winnipeg, the last one, or the first one out, and the Wild making a wild run, which I kind of saw coming. I'm not going to pull the trigger on that. I might make my own little bet on Proline, because I think the Wild, there's a chance, but I'm not going to make it on the live. I might just do that on the side myself. Arizona also still in it. Everybody else completely out of it. Completely out of the playoff run is. So don't even need to talk about that. You can at me. You can make fun of the Red Wings all you want. Just remember that if you don't have a team, then I'm just going to mock you in general. If you have a team, I'll find something about you and your team to mock you about. Unless your team is, a respectable team, then I'll be respectable. But just remember that I do have Stanley Cups, and I do not have a 50-plus year drought. So don't at me. Certain fans in certain provinces that I was born in, because I won't hear it. Always will be better. Go across the Great Lake. Cheer for a real team. Getting into a little bit of NBA talk here, ladies and gentlemen. The run for the playoffs for that is happening pretty damn quick here. There's only a handful of games left. I think there's only 16 for the NBA. Zion Williams is definitely making a name for himself. As you saw a couple of pictures on the last episode, or just on our page, North Sports. Tell your friends, like this page. I'll have a lot more viewers later on because I'll pay for them. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. This right now is like beta testing. It's for me to get used to it, and it's for you, the fans, to get used to me and accustomed to the platform that this is going to be. I am Dr. Seuss. Look at me. Anyway, so Zion Williams, ladies and gentlemen, is making a name for himself. I love it because I have a couple of his cards, which means, money later on. If you want to buy one, you can always inquire with me, always. He's putting up great numbers. He's 23.9 points right now, ladies and gentlemen, which is quite nice. I don't think the Pelicans are going to get in. I think they're 3 points right now. I'm actually throwing up the standings right now to give a shout out to the Raptors, who got spanked the other day. Not spanked, sorry, that was a different team. They lost to the Hornets. I actually don't mind the Hornets. I would like the Hornets to get that 8th spot away from Brooklyn. Don't think it's going to happen, but it's worth a try. Toronto sitting in second, 9 games behind the Bucks. It's basically the Bucks and then everybody else. But do not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. I do like the Raptors, but there's a guy I work with named Travis. He's not going to see this because it's on Facebook. But Travis, you know how I like my Celtics right now. I love my Raptors. I do. But it's just something about the Celtics and their coaching and the way that they run that offense. Their defense is great. They have stars in almost every position. Not superstar, star, good off your bench. It's stars all the way across the board except for your last 2 off the bench. That's how the Celtics have played for a long time. I think if we're talking about the Final Four, and what I'm not what I'm suggesting right now, what I'm calling right now, Clippers versus the Lakers, Clippers take it in 6. You're going to have the Celtics versus the Bucks, and the Celtics are going to take it in 7 in Milwaukee. It is going to suck, But Giannis is going to need to either go to a different team, as shitty as that sounds, or he's going to need to recruit another player to Milwaukee. And that is not going to be easy. It's one of the reasons why Kawhi Leonard left and went to the Clippers. So I do think it would be a Clippers and Celtics finals. And if it's looking that way right now and everybody was healthy, I think that goes to 6, and it's the Celtics. Not going to lie. I do not think the Clippers would be able to beat the Celtics if they got over the Bucks. Everybody would be like, oh, they would be so tired. That's why you have a bench, and their bench is stars. And people are obviously going to turn that around and say the Clippers bench is not better. Is it not better? It's full of older people. This Celtics team is full of young people and young stars. If you have stars who are old from before, it doesn't match up to the stars that you have now, especially with the travel. I argue that the Celtics, being used to a little bit more travel, would be able to deal with that type of flight, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Celtics, I don't think would. I don't think they would. I think Kawhi Leonard would rather stay in LA, would rather have a closer game. I think he'd rather it be Milwaukee. I think he'd rather it be something like that instead of having to travel as far as he probably would. Even Toronto he probably would enjoy. But that's what I'm calling. And I'm sorry, Raptor fans, and I love the Raptors too. I'm not even considering my Thunder in this. I think my Thunder would make a run in the first round if you got maybe the Rockets. But that's about it. After that, you're gonna get swept. It's inevitable. So, we go into a little bit of MLB here. Isn't it nice to just see that Robert Manfred makes this nice, beautiful comment where in the regular season you will not hit any of the players who will be suspended because we protect the Houston Astros and their integrity to be baseball players and all that bullshit. Fuck off, okay? There's this nice little fine print that people were looking for, and I was like, hey, did you say anything about the preseason? Didn't fucking think so. Or even if you did, the fucking penalties aren't as bad. So we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna fucking hit them. And they did. They did. And they are. And it's gorgeous, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have my Twitter, which you should have by now, and if you don't have Twitter, literally, I will give you updates of your teams. If I got you on Twitter and you're a major person that wants to see updates like right away, I will at you because I will get those updates for you. Okay? Get Twitter, at me your teams, and I will get those updates for you. But if you go to Twitter, I retweeted this nice video where the Astros were getting, it was a rain delay or whatever. Maybe the game got rain delayed for another day, maybe just for a couple of hours. Couple of fans, it looks like, of the Astros who, it looks like it was a home game. I'll have to do a little bit more digging in that. They went to the dugout and basically asked if they were gonna, return the title, return their rings, anything like that. And they said, we'll pay to see this all the time. We'll pay to see this all season. We'll be here and we'll do this to you because we can. And there's a cop sitting right there because he knows he's got to protect them. Got to protect them because they're a bunch of pussies. Got to protect them. It's just the way it is, I guess. It's what happens when you cheat. I'm still not very happy about it. I still think the title should be with an asterisk. Maybe not taken away, because if you're looking at the integrity of the whole situation, I get it. I get it because I'll play devil's advocate. I get it. Just put an asterisk beside it then. Because if you want to be on the other, like the whole, say, the socialist side of it, then you're going to strip it from 2017 and 2018. And then what? And then, like, when my kids, because my kids are going to be huge into sports in a few years, they start looking into this shit later on. They're like, what happened in 2017 and 2018? Why was there? I thought there's a lot of stats supporting it, Dad. And I'll be like, yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. This is a bunch of cheating bastards is what they are. So you just put an asterisk there. You say the Red Sox won, the Astros won, asterisk. These teams fucking suck because they cheated and they couldn't win it without cheating. And don't tell me that they could, because you cheated at key moment and key times. That game 6 could have been fucking over with the Dodgers had they not cheated. There wasn't a need to go to game 7. There wasn't a need to have that anxiety in the home crowd around you. There wasn't. There absolutely wasn't. And they cheated. They cheated. Red Sox did the same thing. Aaron Judge and the Yankees. I mean, people can say what they want about, the Yankees have always cheated. The Yankees did this. The Yankees are part of the steroid era. I get it. And if it ever came to light that the Yankees were the real reason that the guys learned about it for the Astros and Red Sox, then when that comes into light, we'll hold them accountable for it. But until then, you can't, because there's nothing. We're waiting on the Red Sox, and we're just saying that there should be an asterisk right now because we think it's going to be that bad. And if it's not, then we'll just take it and say 2018 or 2017. Fucking sorry. And we're going to start opening this too. And I wanted to get the baseball one. I really did. I really, really did. There was a nice Prism one. This one I had from a while ago. And the Prism one I saw before. There was one left. Oh, like that. I'll lose my teeth. The Prism one I saw was a nice one. It really was. And I bet you it had a nice couple of nice cards in there and this, that, and everything else. But I don't feel right buying any baseball. I really don't. And my fiance, like, God bless her, she bought me a hat before for Christmas. It ended up being like an Arizona Cardinals hat instead of a St. Louis Cardinals. I love her, don't worry. And I don't feel good bringing it back and trying to get a St. Louis Cardinals one right now because it's just baseball. I don't feel right. So we're going to open this, though. Get off baseball talk. Because fuck the Astros. Go Cardinals anyway. Go Blue Jays. It's just the way it is. And go Padres. Because nobody loves the Padres. Everybody hates the Padres. Anyway, we're going to open this up. Let's see exactly what kind of relic bullshit is in here. Already, let's see this. Top rookies, upper deck, Austin Matthews. Oh, that's kind of cool. They gave me an Austin Matthews, a rookie card. That is not the one for the podcast. We'll pick one of these in a second. And if anybody's watching, then we'll take a look. That's actually kind of cool. It's not shiny or anything, but it is like, it is a rookie card. It's kind of cool. It's worth probably like $5. Probably worth $5. Austin Matthews rookie. Austin Matthews rookie card. So if anybody's watching, let's see what else we got in here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's something else there. So 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that's kind of cool. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We got 9 packs here. And this other one that's up in here. This looks like it's a showcase one. White Hot. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's Mark Stone. Mark Stone. I'm actually going to keep that one for my wife because Mark Stone's currently on the Golden Knights. So that's kind of cool. So it's the box. Nothing though. No cool pen mints or anything like that. But it was the last one, so I'm sure like when they had them all there, people were shaking them, being like, listening. Pen it! And then took it and it was gone. Actually, I'm going to do this. So, let me do a quick vote. If anybody's watching, I'll actually double check here too. If not, we're going to open one. Find Young Guns 2017, 2018. Okay. Well, I can open that one. Ooh, the World Juniors women's team. Oh, 2016. Parkhurst 2016, 2017 rookie cards. Oh. Same thing. Got your Upper Deck 2015, 2016 Series 1. Okay. We're going to go. If you can hear that, that's also my daughter. Young Guns rookies 2015, 2016. That one is double, and those ones are double. Okay, so you all vote. Is anybody out there? Doesn't look like there is. I just checked. Okay. Well, maybe there is. Huh? You vote. I can open one of these right now. Going once, going twice, and we pick the first one because that's usually how I do it. I open this one. The way it goes, I open it. We're going to put that card that's in here. That's the best one. And it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which one's in this one. If there's an Austin Matthews rookie card that's all shiny and stuff, that goes on there. Then how do you win it? You share this. Now, don't have to share it right now, but if you do, bless you. I really appreciate you. Like I said, this is all a work in progress, but I do appreciate any shares and likes that it gets. Anything that's in here that is the best, okay, goes into a draw. You share it and you like it. That gets you 2 entries. One like gets you an entry to the video. Okay, like the video gets you an entry into the draw. Second is if you share it, it gives you 3 entries into the draw for each video that you share, even up to the final draw. If you wanted to go back and be like, share video 1, share video 2, share video 3, share video 4, you can do that, and that's how you can do it. So you don't have to share it today. It's all good. But it'd be cool if you did. So we're gonna open this up before we go. Show everybody what we got. We got a Vincent Trocheck, which you just got traded to. And Michael Backlund. Ooh, Derek Brassard. Christian Dvorak. Over here, we got Stephen Jones. Paul Stastny. Wayne Simmons. And, looks like Young Guns, Upper Deck, Anders Bjork. So that looks to be probably the one that we put away right now. Just double checking over here. Make sure we don't have any other rookies or anything crazy. No, that looks like it. Young Guns it is, ladies and gentlemen. So our Anders Bjork will be added to the collection over here. Let's throw that right below our Jarrett Culliver, which is a prism. And it is got a red tinge. It's worth like $2. We'll check the price on that one. There's currently our collection of cards for the giveaway. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for North Sports. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for all the likes and shares for anything that comes in. And yeah, like I said, this is your open platform. Say what you want, be what you want, because we are the Canadians. And when this gets all off the ground, with your help, my friends and my fans, we are going to fucking own them. We're going to tear through them. We're going to hold them accountable for our theories. We're going to have our own ESPN. You can't just say the word. They'll hold me accountable. They'll sue me. But we'll make our own. It'll be beautiful. It'll be like the one that's in Toronto that we also won't say. We'll make our own, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll helmet. I'll take you all with me. Our voices will be heard. And we'll make millions. Like Romo. Which, by the way, NFL players, go on Twitter, take a look. They don't like that deal at all. Thank you again for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. My child isn't born next weekend. I'll be here. If he is born, maybe I'll cuddle him for a little bit. Take him off the screen. You can all give a quick little look. Quick little shout out. Thank you again. I got to go clean up that mess. Goodbye.